Is good actually stalked by evil? What is your concept of evil?
As long as they kill us and go to Wendy's and have a burger and go to sleep, they're gonna keep killing us. But when we die and they die, then soon.
Get money, stay fresh, my nigga. A letter to whoever's next, my nigga. I don't want you to fail the test, my nigga. I wanna see you at your best, my nigga. Get money, stay fresh, my nigga. Letter to whoever's next. Listen to this verse with your imagination. The crowds around.
I mean, basically, music, runs in my family. You know what I mean? My mother was a singer. My father wrote poetry. So it just seemed like it was inevitable that I was going to get into it some way or the other. Started off writing poetry as a kid, first grade. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to put all of my poetry into a little folder. She made a little book out of it and things like that. It was, kid stuff, but that was when I started to develop my love for rhyming, And then, fast forward, just study my craft. Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, Public Enemy, Ice Cube, DOC, Too Short, just studying all the OGs and how they, put their music together. And, LL and just everybody on up to, Tupac, Scarface, Eminem, Jay-Z, like just studying how people put their, music together and trying to figure out exactly where I wanted to fit in. You know what I'm saying? So studying my craft, doing my homework, paying attention to the culture of hip-hop, like everything, hip-hop was just my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I was just a sponge soaking up everything hip-hop had to offer. So I could do graffiti, I could scratch, I could beatbox, anything that had to do with hip-hop besides even MCing I could do because it was my life. So, one day I decided to go and put a demo package together. So I went to a studio in Long Beach and I put a demo package together and I started getting some phone calls. I was like 17. People were calling me like, yo, you pretty dope. Why don't you come up to have a meeting at Jive Records? And you sit up there at Jive and you sit. That's when I started understanding that, I had a talent that may be able to get me out of the hood, get me out of the ghetto, you know what I'm saying, and get my music out there to the world. And if we fast forward, I just think that one of my big breaks was when Chucky Miller and my homie Leonard Russell, two homies from Long Beach that went to the NFL and became, football players. They had money. They were getting, they wanted to give back to the community, so they started a record label to try to help the local artists get off their feet, you know what I'm saying? Onto their feet, rather. And they did a label called Muscle Records. So that was like my first independent deal. I was a teenager. They gave me a little bread, you know what I'm saying? So that was my first time earning money for my craft. And I just said, yo, this is what I want to do. Snoop came up to the studio, Warren G, Nate Dogg, rest in peace, Daz. I don't know if Corrupt was there, but, my homie Nook Dogg, he was there, and we just did a cipher. I'm a teenager, man. Snoop pull up in a big Suburban. St. Ives just bought him a Suburban. He go in there, you look, he got his name on the floor mats. And, I'm a kid. I'm a welfare kid, Section 8, WIC, food stamps, government cheese. I ain't used to looking at all this, and I'm like, damn, you got all this? Thinking to myself, you got all this shit from rapping? You know what I'm saying? It was really mind-blowing. So when they came upstairs and we did the cipher, I'm like, yo, I'm going for mine. You know what I'm saying? So we was doing our thing. Everybody was busting, spitting. And on the way down the stairs, Snoop told Big C-Style, who was one of the founding members of the Dog Pound, he was like, yo, man, you need to manage Crooked. He was like, you need to manage him. That dude, he gonna be something. And, they pulled off. Like a year and a half later, I was walking down Atlantic Avenue, and C-Style pulled up on me. It was like, yo, I've been looking for you. Pulled up on me and my brother Dice. Like, get in, man. I'm working on a compilation. It was called the 19th Street compilation. So I had been, had my little struggles, ups and downs in the music industry as a youngster. So I just like, let me see what this is going to be about. You know what I'm saying? Got to the studio, but I was always ready. That's one thing about me. I've always been prepared. I've always been hungry. I've always been passionate. So when we got to the studio, they kept pulling up beats. I just kept, all right, next beat, next beat, next beat. You know what I'm saying? And they looking around like, yo, this dude is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, feed them to me. So, you know, we knocked out so many songs that Virgin Records, who was putting the compilation out, was like, yo, we want to sign him solo. So that was my real introduction to a major label. Hit Virgin, did my thing, first single about to drop. Dad's a Corrupt on it. You know what I'm saying? I got songs with Nate Dogg on there. I got songs with all the homies from Long Beach. I'm ready to come out. I think I'm about to blow up. Virgin Records pulled a plug. They like, yo, no more urban for now. You know, everybody got to go that ain't Janet Jackson, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because that urban department was New Tribe. And New Tribe was, you know, had the Loonies and Face Mob and Almighty RSO and Gangstar. Like everybody that was their urban, you know, hub. Boom, pulled it out. Back in Long Beach, on the east side, no money no more. Money ran out. What I'm gonna do? I don't know what to do. Get a knock on the door. C-Style and Daz again. Yo, we got this deal over here at Death Row for Dog Pound Records. You want to come down there? I'm like, cool. Jump on. We go see Suge. Michelle Lay sitting there. She like, yeah, I've been hearing your record on 92.3 The Beat. I was like, yeah, you know, I got a little love up there. They just playing one of my little joints. She like, yeah, I was telling Suge that we needed to rock with you. So I'm like, okay. So we sitting there, we all talking about things. I took a walk with Suge because this was when he can have contact visits. So he could walk around, you know, with some of his visitors or whatnot. And I took a walk with him and he was like, listen, man, I could do this, do this, do this, and do this. I'm like, cool, man. You know, I just need to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, that was the only thing that was on my mind. I come up from poverty. My mom's not doing good. I got brothers and sisters and all the people in my family I want to take care of. So I just want to make sure that we talking money too, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just fame, you know what I mean? And he respected that. He was like, yo, don't even worry, you know what I mean? So we was doing good. And then him and Daz and C-Style kind of got into a little rift where it wasn't no crazy beef or nothing, but it was just a misunderstanding, miscommunication, and it caused them to part ways. So it was like, yo, you gonna stay on Death Row or you gonna move with the Dog Pound? You know what I'm saying? And I said, you know, some people gotta work for McDonald's, some people gotta work for Burger King. I'm just gonna carve my own path, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, but I'm gonna stay right here and try to pick up my career and you know, make my own way. So that's how I ended up on Death Row, and you probably know how that story go. You know what I'm saying? That's a long ass story, huh?
He ain't got one star. Everybody look homeless. Can't tell who the bums are. Everything backwards. Night be looking like morning. 'Cause back in the day,
With the Aftermath situation, before we got on the plane to go see Suge, he was locked up north in Sacramento. Well, in Ione, but you land in Sac and then you drive up. Before we went to go see him, we was on a radio station with Julio G. And Julio was like, well, what you gonna do? And I was like, well, we got a meeting with Suge. And Julio was like, oh, okay, cool. But we was live on the air. So somebody from Aftermath or somebody that fuck with Dre was like, yo, called the homie Big Style, like, Dre wants you to come up here. So they heard that. So we went up to the lab and I talked to Dre. I ended up getting on King T's album. King T was recording the album at the time, so I ended up getting on King T's album. It was a song with me, Bo Rock from the Dove Shack, and Dub C. And it was King T's song, of course. So, you know, Dre was like, yo, I fuck with you. I like your talent, you know. And it was, when I left, Big C-Style was like, yeah. So Dre is saying that he wants you to wait. I mean, I didn't really talk directly to him about the business because at the time, C-Style was kind of like representing me. So, you know, what was told to me was that Dre was like, wanting me to wait until he finished a few projects and then he would fuck with me. But I was just in a position where it's like, you know, I couldn't really wait like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wanted to see certain shit in my life stop right then and there. Certain, you know, people around me struggling, motherfuckers in, super poverty type shit. I just wanted that shit to stop. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go with Suge, cause Suge, he gonna cut the check. And I'm a young dude at the time. I'm not having a big picture idea. I'm having a short term. I need it now. Who knows? I might die tomorrow type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, get the check, and then float with Suge. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot over there at Death Row. I learned a lot about the business. I learned a lot about, you know what I mean, keeping your word in the business. I learned that my work ethic improved over there because a lot of the engineers engineered Tupac. So, when you walk into a studio that's full of people who worked with one of the GOATs, you don't go in there half-ass. You know what I'm saying? You walk in there and you put your helmet on and you suit up. You get that feel. You trying to make that touchdown. So I was in there working, and, people were like, yo, man, you got a work ethic that's like Pac's, you know what I'm saying? And that would keep my drive up, like, yeah. Because, he's one of the GOATs. He's my favorite rapper, period. So it's like, it's like that really helped me to go to the next level with my ethic. And then Suge allowing me to sit in the business meetings and talk to people while he was talking to people like Lyor Cohen and, Russell or whoever he was talking to at the time, even if it was just a fast, high-buy situation, chop it up real quick, him allowing me to be there got my IQ, my business IQ up, where I was like, okay, this is how the business is handled. Because a lot of the artists, we don't know nothing but what's in that booth, you know what I'm saying? We really don't know what's going on with the paperwork, what's how the marketing aspect and all that, and the budgets and all. We don't really know that.
Nigga, you ain't got no rights. Them robots are coming here right now and take you to the penitentiary plantation and enslave you.
After I left Death Row, man, I pretty much I came to Glendale, actually. Came here. One of my buddies was like, yo, some kids want to talk to you up there in Glendale. So I came over here, and this is before this was even here. It was just the front part. It looked like a house in the front. So that was it, you know what I'm saying? And we were sitting there plotting like, okay, so what we going to do? And the homie, who ended up becoming a good friend of mine, the president of the company, because this is also an independent label called Treacherous Records. I'm the vice president. The homie is the president. He was like, yo, let's rock. And I started talking to him, and I really felt his wave. So we started building, you know what I'm saying? We did deals with J.O. Felony. We did deals with Big Psych, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? We did deals with K Young. We did deals with Nocturnal. And we just started making music, and then ended up building this lab, and then just going on Smash. And that's when I did the hip hop weeklies, because when I started the weeklies, it was like a dark cloud was still over me from Death Row. A lot of people didn't want to do business with me in the music business because they felt like, yo, you was attached to Death Row, the drama, kidnapping, gunshots, all this other type of shit. We don't want to deal with you. So it's like, I had to figure out a way to make them understand that, look, not only is Death Row not all about that, but also, I'm a free man. I don't even deal with Death Row anymore. I'm off of that label. You know what I'm saying? So when I did the hip hop weeklies, it kind of created separation because people saw, oh, he's not still over there at that label. He's doing his independent thing, and he's doing his own thing. And two things happened, I think, that became very important for me to be at Eminem's label. One was I was at Fat Beast, the old vinyl store where they sell the vinyl records, and I was with my homeboy JC, and we were looking for the Chronic 2001 instrumental vinyl because I was about to put out a mixtape called Young Boss Volume 1. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to use half Dr. Dre beats and half DJ Premier beats. And I ended up making that mixtape. But when I picked up the vinyl, I'm off Death Row. I ain't been off Death Row that long. I lost a lot. I had to go to court. I had all kind of things going on. I had to sell my car. I had to break it back down to an apartment. All kind of stuff was going on. I'm back on Cup of Noodles, and I'm back on the orange pack of ramen. And I'm in that motherfucking Fat Beats, and I pick up the Dre vinyl, Chronic 2001 instrumentals, and my phone ring, and I say, hello? And he said, what's up? And I said, who is this? They said, it's Dr. Dre. And right when I got his vinyl in my hand, he calling me on the phone. Now, keep in mind, I haven't talked to this man in probably 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, wow. And he was like, yo, I heard you, man. You know, one thing I want to tell you is that you never came at me foul in the media. You never, you never said nothing bad about my label or the people that I work with. I respect you for that, man. It's like, cool, man. He was like, yo, I was in the studio one night, and he was telling me the story of when he was in the lab with M. I was on the radio with Suge and Ja Rule. And Ja Rule was going ham on 50, but he had played a joint where he threw M. Darter under the bus in the joint too. You know what I'm saying? So the people that was, I can't remember whoever was interviewing us, they were like, so Crooked, since you're the main man on Death Row, are you going to start beefing with M and Dre too? And I was like, look, man, this is no disrespect. I love Ja. I really love Irv Gotti. He's one of the most stand-up dudes I've ever met in this industry. You know what I'm saying? I love these guys, but I don't know. That's not really my beef. I don't know what they beefing about. I just got here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I said, because one, Dr. Dre is the greatest producer of all time. Two, M is one of the illest rappers to ever rap. So I'm like, yo, if they come at me, and they diss my squad, that's different. But I don't think Suge brought me to Death Row to be a robot, a wind-up doll, a toy soldier. I don't know what that beef is about. It's none of my business. I'm over here to do business. You know what I'm saying? And apparently Dre heard that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what eventually led to me being cool enough to get the Shady deal. Because think about it. If Dre and M, they both heard that. So I didn't know they were listening. I'm just being myself. And I think that's one of the reasons why Suge respected me so much, because I was always myself. People changed when they got around him. They became something that they weren't. You know what I'm saying? But I've always just been myself, and I think that's why he respected me so much. So when I got to Shady, one of the execs over there asked me, so how does it feel? And I said, how does what feel? And they said, going from Death Row Records to Shady Aftermath. And I said, it feels great. I don't know how you want me to answer that. It feels fucking phenomenal, you know what I'm saying? But they're like, you don't feel weird? And I'm like, nah, man, because I go where my talent takes me. You know what I'm saying? I go where my talent takes me. If I'm talented enough to go from one, fucking legendary label to another, God bless. I'm going to take that as a blessing and keep moving. But it is ironic to end up on Shady Records.
On my birthday, even wishing his mama would fuck with me. Shit that'll make me burn her to the stake like a Salem witch.
One shot, bro. Basically, I had this. Everywhere I went, people would give me their demos. Everywhere I went, people would give me their music, their SoundCloud links, their YouTube links, everything. So I said, man, I can't help everybody. I was driving down the street one day. I'm in a convertible. I'm on the 405 headed to Long Beach. This dude pulls up to me. He's like, yo, can I throw my CD in? So I'm like, yo, all right. So we get close enough to, I don't want my door to touching his door, and I'm trying to hold it straight, and he's like, boom, and he throws it, and it lands inside the car. I'm like, all right, peace, and I dip out. And then I hit the grocery store, and no lie, the butcher was like, yo, I got bars. So I was like, okay. He's like, man, I don't want to get fired, but I got to spit some shit for you. So I'm like, all right, come on. He just come around there. He got the bloody apron. He's like, listen, I go hard. I was like, what? Dude, you got some bar. And then his manager came over, and his manager was like, what is he? He's like, man, this is cool. What did he start telling him? And his manager's like, okay, go ahead. And he started spitting some more. You know what I'm saying? I was at Stater Brothers. So it's like everywhere I went, people always continuously ask to rap for me, and they're asking, because they're looking for a chance, or they're looking for some sort of a opportunity. And I said, I can't help everybody. It's impossible for me to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I could build a platform that could help people, as many people as I can. So I said, how can I do this? And I came up with the idea to do One Shot. So I'm like, I'm going to do a competition. I'm going to put it on TV. We're going to go around the world eventually. And we're just going to put the spotlight on up-and-coming artists and give them that platform of a national network, you know what I mean, and put them in front of celebrities, you know, that can, you know, they can expose their talent to. And, you know, I wrote down the whole concept for it. I went to the Screenwriters Guild and I got it copywritten, you know what I'm saying? And then I put it in a frame on my bedroom wall and I looked at it every day and said, you know, I'm going to make this a reality. You know what I'm saying? And the more I thought about it, the more, you know, ideas would pop in my mind of how to make it a reality. You know, I need to get Sway and Tech involved in this because that's my family. Yo, Sway, what's up, man? Will you host it? Yo, Tech, will you be a judge with me? Yeah, you got it. Boom. All right. Now I got them attached to it. You know what I'm saying? And we pitched it to a lot of people. We ended up filming 4 cities, but we ended up doing half the season on our own before we even had a network. We just did half the season. We did Atlanta, we did Chicago, we did Miami, we did North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. And it's crazy because when we did Atlanta, you know, you got Sway hosting it. We had T.I. as a celebrity guest judge. We had DJ Drama as a celebrity guest judge. And we had like 2,000 people out there. We went to Chicago, 5,000 MCs showed up in the freezing snow. And one thing that I'm proud of about the Chicago thing is we all know, like, Chirac, they get busy. People call it that for a reason. And when we were there, you know, it was people from different hoods and different sides. But they were all put that bull to the side. You know what I'm saying? They put all the beef to the side and said, yo, we chasing our dreams right now. And it was 5,000. They shut the streets down. The police came out. The news came out. All in the freezing cold, people chasing their dreams. So I was like, okay, we won. People were networking in the lines with each other. Oh, man, I'm going to make a song with you. All right, man. Hey, man, I got a show over here. You could get on. And it's like it created a snowball effect of just helping people. And that's one thing that's always been in my nature is to try to help as many people as I can. You know what I'm saying? So when I came up with the idea and saw it on TV, it just blew my mind, bro. It blew my mind like, man, we actually did it. We did it, man. And I had one of the greatest hosts in the world. Sway is one of the greatest. He's like the GOAT of that. You know what I'm saying? It was a blessing, man. And hopefully we come back for season 2. We're in negotiations right now. So hopefully we can get that, God willing, so we can go back out there and find some more people.
Shaking in my hand as I'm writing my manifesto. I'm writing to let the press know I never wanted you to be afraid.
When I was coming up, you know, my brother named me Crooked. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, all right, Crooked, you little bad. You don't never get in trouble for the shit you do. Me and you do the same type of shit, and I'm the one who always get in trouble. You crooked bastard and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it was just something that stuck to me, you know, and it sounded dope when I used to rap. You know what I mean? Like, okay, crooked eye, crooked individual, crooked icon. You know, people would, you know, to this day, people still call me Icon if you real close to me because they know that it was Crooked Icon at first. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, as I start growing as a man and maturing, I understand that sometimes you got to tell the universe exactly who you are, and you got to understand, you know, it's the law of attraction. We're going to attract what we put out. What we put out, that's what we're going to get back. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes you got to let the world understand that, hey, man, we kings and queens out here. You know, you could try to talk to us like we're second class. You could try to say we're lower class. You could, you know, talk down on us because of our financial status or the fact that we minorities or anything you want to do. But at the end of the day, we kings and queens out here. We got royal blood in us too, just like everybody else. And I just thought that was a very necessary thing to do. So, boom, that end came to King Crooked, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually, it'll probably end up just being whatever name my mom named me. You know what I mean? Before I retire, you know what I'm saying? And it'll just all be steps and steps of maturation and evolving.
Fuck them pics for life, cause I don't like no robos. Bring them cameras out, I'll kill a cop for promo.
I got mad, man. I was watching the news a lot, especially because of the presidential campaign. So, you know, I keep a close eye on that. And within just watching the news all the time, you just see person after person being killed by the police. You see people in Flint drinking poisonous water. You see, money and greed ruling the world. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, I got angry. So, instead of going outside with a shotgun and snapping, I decided to turn all my anger into art. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm going to turn all this anger I got into a ball of art. And that's going to be my therapy for all this bullshit. You know what I mean? So went in and said, you know what? But since it's art, I want to do it, from an artistic point of view. I want to just go in here and say, fuck everybody. Because I've never been one as an artist to do easy, take the easy way out when I'm creating. I'm trying to, create levels of the game for people to see. So I'm like, let's set it in an alternative reality, where you got doppelgangers who look just like these people in our reality, but they might have different roles. Let's make the police androids. Let's make the police robots, programmed by the government to kill. Now you see the similarity because some people feel like that's what they really are. But it's like taking it and flipping it and making them, in reality, a real robot that's just programmed to kill you. You lower class, they don't give a fuck. You're a minority, you're dead on sight. You know what I mean? If you get caught crossing certain lines or staying out after curfew, they're killing you. So you got that, and then you got the puppet master character, who I envision. I actually molded him after Donald Trump, but with more power. You know what I mean? I'm like, this character could be a Donald Trump kind of guy, but with more power. Now Donald Trump has all the power. So it's like a coincidence, like, oh shit, now he could really be the puppet master. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing was just to be able to touch on things that people don't talk about in hip hop, like environmental racism and environmental classism. Why do they put chemical plants in the hood? You know what I'm saying? Why do they take the mayor of Detroit to jail for financial corruption, but not the governor of Michigan for poisoning his own citizens? See what I'm saying? You fuck with the money, you go to jail. You poison the citizens, whatever. They lose their lives, babies with sicknesses for the rest of their lives, that's all good. But if they mess with the money, send them to jail. So it's like, I wanted to speak on these things. I talked about pipelines on them people, and just like with the Standing Rock tribe, you know what I'm saying? It's Standing in the Sioux. It's like we talked about oil corruption, we talked about bankers, controlling economies and collapsing whole economies and, creating the madness, knowing that we know we're going to create this housing bubble. We know people are going to lose their houses. We know we're going to cause all this. We seen it. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be people struggling. We don't care. We don't care. So you got the bankers, you got the oilers, big oil, you got big medicine. You know what I'm saying? You got, like I said, environmental classism, which I really think people need to really pay attention to in hip hop. Hip hop rarely talks about that. And I wanted to talk about, of course, the police brutality, and the corruption in the court system. You got judges who own a piece of the penitentiary that they're sending you to. So they're getting paid to send you to jail. You know what I mean? Like, that loophole should be shut. It should be illegal for a judge to own a percentage of a penitentiary because he's getting paid off of how many people he's sending up the river. That's an incentive.
Conflict of interest.
It's a conflict of interest. Why does that exist? So we got all these different things that we need to talk about. Because when I was young coming up, hip-hop schooled me on shit that I didn't know about. It put me up on game on shit. So I'm trying to put people up on game and spark conversations that's just, not just the normal conversations that we have. I think hip-hop needed that. So, I made the title Good versus Evil because even in the song, the main character, who is me, goes through a phase where he doesn't know if he's becoming like them because he's just out here killing people, for a good reason, but you're still a killer. You know what I mean? So it's like a very gray area between good and evil, but we do know who the ultimate evil is by the time the album is done. 2017, I got 2017 mapped out already.
That's right.
So what it is I got a lot of projects that I'm putting out in 2017. I got my hands in a lot of stuff. So I have my total plan of what I'm doing in 17, and then I'm sure life will add some curves, twists, and turns. So whatever, I'm just going to have the energy, the positive energy, man, and face whatever comes my way. But I'm definitely expanding on the good versus evil. It's not going to be a trilogy because I think that I'm going to end up doing 4 before it's over.
So are you gonna have like on the second one, third, fourth, like different concepts, like within the political, social, economical?
Yeah, I mean
like,
they're basically gonna. The next one picks up exactly where the last one ends, and the stories are gonna all be intertwined with each other. And by December, my goal is to have Good versus Evil 4 drop.
So once every quarter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I got my hands full with that, and then I mean that's gonna be a franchise next year. I just think that, which I wasn't even planning on doing that because I never thought Trump would win. But, frankly speaking, with Trump in there's going to be a lot of need for truth tellers in the hip hop community. You know what I'm saying? Because he's already trying to turn the clock back. You know what I'm saying? He's already taking away certain rights, or trying to, certain rights that we love and freedoms that we love. He's already planning on taking them, and his whole administration is going to be made up of people who are just like the puppet master. So it's going to be necessary. So that's going to be a whole franchise. I know I'm going to do a COB compilation at some point. I know I'm going to be releasing about 3 Horseshoe Gang albums. I know I'm doing some stuff. Me and Royce are working on some different projects. The Slaughterhouse thing, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a question for 4 members to answer. I can't answer it, because I'm always ready to go.
Right.
I'm always ready to go. But it's a matter of all 4 of us being ready to go on that wave. So, 2017, I would love to put out a Slaughterhouse album, but if that's not what all members want to do, it's not going to happen.
What is M think about it? Like, does he have any insight on it? Or
Yeah, M. Let me tell you something about M, dog. He always is pro Slaughterhouse. There's never a time that I've heard him say, or I've heard of him saying anything other than, let's go. Green light, Slaughterhouse, green light. You know what I'm saying? So he's always, and I see the comments, sometimes on my Instagram, on my Twitters and stuff, people think that the label is shelving Slaughterhouse. It's not true. It's not true. The label is 100% behind Slaughterhouse. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that Slaughterhouse has to be on the same page in order for it to move. If Slaughterhouse is not on the same page, it's not going to move. So I would love to put that in my 2017, but like I said, I got 3 Good versus Evil dropping. I got 3 Horseshoe Gangs dropping. I got a COB compilation dropping. I'm working on another TV series and a documentary. So I have a full plate regardless, but it would be dope to get the house gang out there.